Okay, Coach, big win over Western last week. Let's get your thoughts on last week's game and what you're looking forward to this week.
Well, first of all, I thought the atmosphere here for a football game was tremendous. It was sold out. A good percentage of the people stayed right to the end. I guess that's what happens when the score stays close. And I think that the game really lived up to a Queens Western billing. It was exciting. There were lots of big plays. I would say that the fact that it was still relatively early in the season, there were still a few mistakes. In some ways, we were fortunate to come away with victory. We had a couple of errors that may have been quite costly at other times during the year. There's still a few things that need to be corrected, of course. But on the positive side, there are also just a few near misses there. Very interesting holding call, late in the fourth quarter where our offensive lineman handled the stunt really well, I thought. And I couldn't say much. We were only penalized 3 or 4 times, but that was a very untimely penalty call. It looked like we were about to sort of blow the top off at that point. And as a result, the game stayed close. And they had their chance to win it at the end as well. So it was a great game. There was lots for the fans. I've had lots of positive feedback on it, and I think it was a great game and bodes well for our league and what might happen later in the season.
And so this week coming up?
Well, we got our hands full this weekend. There's no question. This is a great football team. This is the top quarterback in the league, perhaps in the country. He's functioning at a very, very high level right now. Looks like he's out there playing touch football. Doesn't look particularly stressed. This is the way you would expect a senior quarterback to handle the situation. He looks very much in command. He's surrounded by a lot of talent. They're big up front. They're skilled at the receiver and running back positions. And like our team, they're very good at defense. So it should be a great challenge for our club.
Bob?
Are you looking forward to playing them with your starting quarterback?
Yeah, I think that this will be a fair test. I thought we very quickly got in over our head the last time we played them. They are a great team. There's no question about that. And when you sort of feed them with a lot of errors, they're surely going to capitalize. They're very skilled in the secondary. The errant balls usually end up as interceptions. It was the case last year, and it certainly appears to be that way this year as well. They're very good around the football, so balls a little bit overthrown, underthrown, a little bit off target, or even the phantom deflection. They seem to be very, very prone to seizing those balls. They're very skilled in the secondary. They're physical up front, so it's a good challenge for our team. And the real thing they can do is go out there and play ball control offense, move the sticks. They can keep your offense on the sideline for huge pockets of time. So they're fun, and they have a good kicker. So they're a well-balanced club, no apparent weaknesses, and they're experienced. The core of this team, and I would say the core being 75 to 80% of them participated in that run last year. When you participate in a run like that, you grow exponentially as a team. So they're building on that experience. So very, very good team.
Can you glean much from watching them play lesser opponents? They haven't really been challenged themselves much this year.
That's not as much as we would have liked, to be fair. They got, I would say the film analysis has left us wondering, would they do that in a closer game? It looked to me like in the second half of the first 2 weeks they were kind of coasting. And then last week, Ottawa plays a very, very unique style of offense. I think you have to play Ottawa with what they're doing now with a very unique style of defense. So they're probably not as open a book defensively as we would prefer, but I think offensively that they've gone out there and done their stuff. So it's yes and no, I guess is the answer to that.
Thanks.
How do you feel your team has changed or progressed since last year's losses to Mac?
Well, I guess we'll find out this weekend because 2 of our 3 losses were to Mac last year. So I think that the teams that we've beaten so far this year, we beat them last year as well. it's certainly, much better for the club to come out of the blocks with victories early in the season because it allows you to build some confidence and sort of positions you, where you can see what the challenge is. This is obviously a very big game. I mean, to win this weekend would be a huge step for us as a team. So this is the one team over the past couple of years that has caused us, major difficulties. I think in the last 4 times we played, we had a good shot of beating them the first time in 2010, early in 2010, but in the 3 games following, we haven't threatened. So, we need to go down there. Hamilton has not been kind to us in the last couple of years. So we need to go down there and bring a level of competition, to get ourselves in the game first. And then, obviously, against a good team, you got to make plays, you got to reduce errors, and that's kind of where we're at. So McMaster is sort of the litmus test for all the teams in the circuit this year. Everybody understands who they've got returning and the level that they're able to play at. So I think that's the sort of gold standard in our league for this year. So if you can beat them, you're ready to go on. If you can't beat them, then it's ready for next year.
Coach, you said you need to bring the level of competition over there
Yeah.
for the weekend. Are you ready? Is the team ready to bring that
Well,
level?
I believe we are, but you know what? You never fully understand until you get there. We have not competed at the level required over the last few games against them. There have been points in the ball game where we've hung with them for a while, and then there will be a 7 or 8 minute stretch where we unravel and really play well beneath our capacity. So good teams make you do that, and whether it's trying too hard, overcoaching, or just not being confident in your abilities, or maybe all 3. But for whatever reason, we've had some big play blunders against this team, which of course against a good team, you have to make them earn everything they get, and the more gifts you hand them, the more difficult it makes for you to succeed. So we have to play, close. Nobody's perfect at this time of year, but we have to play close to error-free football, and the guys that we have that can make plays, they need to make them against a good team like this.
Okay, Coach, tell us about the player you brought with you today.
Well, Stephen is one of the sort of the last remaining guys from our 2009 Vanier Cup team. He was a starter on that team. He has provided great leadership. He's back for his final year on the team. We're delighted to have him. He's having a superb season, providing great leadership and stability and a sense of calm, in the defensive huddle. He's been there before. He is one of the guys on our side who has been in all the big games, knows a little bit about the level of intensity and expertise that's required, when you play in the big games. And we're looking forward to his leadership, again down the stretch. As I said, he's having a great year. He hails from St. Mark's High School in Manotick, just in the outskirts of Ottawa. He's had a great career here, and he's finishing up his senior year with a bang. So very proud of him. He's an engineering grad. He's one of a number of guys on the team that are studying engineering. And I think one of the sort of distinguishing features of our club is that we've had a great affinity for having engineers in the football program. There's a lot of good football types who, when they make their academic choice and choose engineering, they kind of hang up the cleats or the skates, and they become involved in their academic pursuits. They abandon their competitive nature as an athlete because they think that it's difficult to manage the 2 lives, if you will. Stephen is one of many who has proven here at Queens that you can be a varsity athlete and be a successful engineering student. So we're very proud of him on both sides.
Thanks, Coach.